Our first reader is Marissa Lingen. Marissa Lingen writes short science fiction and fantasy, essays, and poems. She lives in the Minneapolis area. Marissa, take it away.
Great. So this story appeared in Nature in November of 2018. It's called Say It with Mastodons. It is completely implausible people should fall in love with each other, but of course they do. I mean, we do. Even I do, apparently, although it makes no sense to me. The perfectly logical reasons why I should like you not being enough, although I can see no reason why they shouldn't be, that I should be weirdly tender to. In addition to all of the ordinary human respect and, damn it, liking that you inspire in me, that I should not only think of you often, but smile a weird, wobbly smile when I do, that I should care so much, all of a sudden, about little things that make you happy, about how your week is going, about the way you read things over the top of your glasses, and the way your eyes crinkle up when you smile. It's far more specific than a general fondness, very intense. It doesn't make any sense, even though most people do it. It's pretty weird, and I really don't know what to do about it. So I made you some mastodons. I don't think this is just a me thing. I think it's an us thing. As much as I understand falling in love as a thing, part of it is that there are so many us things, like mastodons, or more to the point, like soil restoration on the northern Great Plains. We've talked about it so many times, sometimes in our labs, and sometimes in charming cafes with thoughtfully concocted beverages, and sometimes in tree-lined parks. We talk a lot. We talk about this, about how we both grew up in small towns in the Dakotas, you outside Watertown, me in Wahpeton, close enough to marvel at now that we're not there, about how hope rose in us, in strange, half-understood little kid ways, when the grazing program to restore the soil really took off, when the crop yield went up and the air smelled of wet, green, growing things. Even though we didn't know each other then, we remembered how it was. We knew. So we both knew the difference when the blackleg hit, when climate change made its season longer and mutation made it rage on. We knew what those farms could have been, what they were struggling to be in the newfound heat and tornadoes. They struggled, they stumbled, and we came of age, separately but together, with the dusty chemical smell of failure around us. We both went east for school, like so many people. We both turned away. Neither of us could help looking back. And then we found each other. And then all the conversations, while the blackleg spread, cow and bison, while no one could figure out what to do about it. And then I fell in love with you, and I didn't know what to do. And I thought of where we're from. I thought of the things we'd turned over in conversation, the tread of cattle on the plains, the natural fertilizer, the way it had all gone so right before it went so wrong. I know we're both focused on conservation, but the conservation attempts weren't getting the prairie anywhere. We needed another, more radical solution. And also, being in love with you turned my brains upside down and then right side up again. And so I thought, mastodons. Just little ones, not much over half a ton. Compared to their ancestors, that's small and manageable. But when you don't expect mastodons, it's still a lot. Kind of like falling in love when a person didn't plan to, I guess. It's fun to collaborate, so I left it to you to figure out what trees the farmers should plant at their field borders for the mastodons to browse when they're not grazing. Almost anything would be okay, but surely there are some that they'll like best. Mastodons like soft shoots and fresh leaves in the spring. They're surprisingly focused on tenderness, although I shouldn't be surprised by anybody that way after recent developments. They're still good grassland maintainers, though. I'm pretty sure. They should be. The lab tests show their manure to be rich and fertile and nitrogen fixing. They've had a lot to process, these mastodons. I can relate. I made them blackleg resistant at least as much as anyone can ever be sure they're resistant to anything. They haven't responded to any of the fatal strains that are common now, so we can hope for at least a reprieve. Some quiet time to do their job without worrying about new developments. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, here's the key. I hope you want to visit them, since
Uh-oh.
I made them for the place we came to for you. Scary, but they're intensely even though it took almost 2 years just to gestate them. So I guess I've been squirming about this for some time. I'm sorry if I'm making you squirm alongside me. That's one of the things I actually don't want to share. It's okay if you don't want to talk about the love part. I like them best. Well, best except for you. Well, assuming that you can still hear me, I thought since I probably have a minute or two left, then I would give you a poem around the similar theme, which is prehistoric animals and love. So here's Chalk and Carbon, which was in Asimov's in the November-December issue of last year. Long-distance relationships are hard. I in the geared and rackety Holocene, you in the green and humid Cretaceous, reaching out through granite and long receded sea. You send your news. I wonder if the pigeons will last long enough to spare one in return. But we're together in our bones, together in our roar. I know the startling brilliance of your feathers, but also your inmost essential shape. You cradle my mammalian entrails with care, and in Chalk and Carbon, in everything that lasts and all that falls away, we are for each other in the teeth of space and time. Thank you so much for bearing with me and for my technology issues. Thank you for listening. And I do have a giveaway in the form, so please sign up for that if you would like more short work. And now I will turn it over to somebody who ideally will have an easier time of it. Thanks, guys.